Hi guys, JT here, and I'm here to talk about Sauber Formula 1. I'm going to do a review of their history, look back at their good points and how they made an impact in Formula 1. So, Sauber Formula 1, they made their debut in 1993 at the South African Grand Prix. Their drivers at the time was JJ Leto and Carl Wendlinger. And they, at the first qualifying session, they qualified about 6th and 10th. I think JJ was 6th and Carl was 10th. In the race they converted, I think JJ went on to go 5th. Sadly Carl didn't finish the race. I think he crashed along with 18 others, so that must have been like a spectacular race. So that would have been a fascinating race to watch, I would have thought. So yeah, that was their first race in Formula 1. They made another 382 races, including that one, so that was, well, so that's 383 races. They've had one win, 27 podiums, and one pole position. So not a major championship win impact, but for a team that they are, you know, it's pretty impressive what they've done. So yeah, I'll just explain their first race. Sort of like established themselves in Formula 1, sort of like a midfield team as well. You know, wasn't going to compete with the likes of Williams, Ferrari, Benetton as well. So, you know, it was sort of Peter Sauber was a bit like ambitious and said, you know, I'm here to see how well this team could do. I want to try and be a success in Formula 1, and for sure he was. Also, if you remember in 1994, sadly, Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger died at Imola. Shortly after that, a few races later, in the Monaco Grand Prix, Carl Wendlinger crashed and was in a coma for about good few weeks, and that sort of established safety into the sport, and really they helped Sauber helped Formula 1 develop safety in this sport. You know, it needed change. You know, someone else just nearly died as well, so sort of Sauber was the, you know, kicking the teeth, and said, you know, something needs to be done about this sport because someone else is going to die again. So thank you, Sauber, but we didn't want to be doing like that. So also one of the more successful teams of recent day, Red Bull Racing. They didn't start off just by randomly. Sauber gave them a sponsorship, and they started sponsoring in 1985. So really, Red Bull started off as a sponsor for them. Probably some of you would already know that before we've seen from liveries and past in present days, and so yeah, you know, they had big ambitions for money because Red Bull were just like a grown company, you know, big energy drink company, very high in the markets and stuff like that. So, you know, they wanted money. As you can probably tell, Sauber did have some good money back then if they wanted Red Bull as a sponsor, and that's probably developed into what they were in about 10 years' time, say. In 1996, they sort of got a Ferrari engine, a V10 engine, when V10s were sort of becoming like the end thing then. And then also Petronas tried to develop an engine for them, but I think something in Asia, money crisis happened, and the engine sadly didn't get finished, so they went to Ferrari, and sort of and Ferrari and Petronas sort of helped together to develop the car and made, you know, Sauber a good team. So really, but in the early days, they sort of were showing signs of like this wasn't just going to be like a team that were going to come here and just leave. You know, they were here to be ambitious, and you know, Peter Sauber did want this team to be a constructor winning team, which, to be fair, I would have liked to see, but I'll explain that later on. We're going to jump a little bit. We're going to go to 2001, the 2001 season, where they employed probably one of the best drivers on the grid right now, Kimi Räikkönen. He went on to win one world championship in 2007 with Ferrari. They brought him in, and he made a very good impression debut as well. You know, sort of made a name for himself in Formula 1, saying that, you know, he is a potential world champion. He can win races. He is consistent as well. He can move on to bigger things in life in terms of Formula 1. So yeah, so that was really good for them. But after that, Ferrari's link with Sauber sort of demolished, as which wasn't that good in terms of Sauber's point of view. But along came a German car company called BMW. They sort of bought some stake into Sauber, sort of gave Peter Sauber 20% of the business, and BMW had the rest, and sort of like took over the team a little bit. So it wasn't just Sauber now, it was sort of BMW Sauber, so they weren't independent anymore, they were more of like a joint team now. So the days of BMW Sauber, they had Nick Heidfeld as a driver, alongside Jacques Villeneuve, a one-time world champion in 1997. So, you know, pretty good strong lineup then. And also they had Rob Kubica as a third driver, sadly no longer with us in the Formula 1 grid, a tragic accident in, I think it was Poland 2011. I think it was, or maybe in Italy, I can't remember which rally it was. Obviously he's not here with us sadly. But, so yeah. And then Villeneuve finished 7th in the Malaysian Grand Prix in 2006. And that was their first points in Formula 1. And that was like sort of BMW statement saying, you know, we can make this team into a constructor winning championship, and it was looking good for for Sauber at this point, you know. But I bet Peter Sauber was, you know, very, very excited. He was probably like, right, we can win some championships here, we can win races, we can win constructors, you know, come on BMW, let's get this. In 2006 in Hungary they got their first podium with Nick Heidfeld. He started 10th on the grid and ended up finishing on the podium, which was good. Then this was like the next step in development of Sauber Formula 1. BMW Sauber Formula 1, should I say. This is when they start competing with the likes of Ferrari, McLaren as well at the time. Also, like Williams was a dying team then, going back down the grid, sort of Sauber were coming up the grid a little bit back in these days. And then obviously Jacques Villeneuve retired. He had a bit of a crash, and then he had an injury, so he had to retire. Robbie Kubica took his place to the end of the season, and then by 2007 he was already a permanent driver. And then obviously 2007 comes along, a reserve driver gets named called Sebastian Vettel, a young German, and who would know that he will become one of the most successful drivers in Formula 1. So, Sauber gave us Kimi Räikkönen, Red Bull, and Sebastian Vettel. You can't go wrong, can you? You can't go wrong. That is brilliant. What they produced in Formula 1, very, very good. So yeah, in Canada 2007, as you probably famously remember, Roy Kubica had a massive accident. You know, how he survived that, I really don't know. That sort of proved how safe Formula 1 is now. And there was like rumours going about they had broken legs and everything like that, but yeah, all it had was concussion and a sprained ankle, so really got away with a slap on the wrist by that. So you know, that was just on the edge of it. So their first win, which was always good for a team, came in the Canadian Grand Prix in 2008 with Robert Kubica, and also Nick Heidfeld came second, so it was a BMW Sauber 1-2, so you can imagine how elastic the team was then. So, and this was also another step in the forward for the team, saying, you know, what else can we win more races from this? Can we go, what about 2009? How's that going to be for us with the new technology coming in, cars becoming bigger as well? So thinking to yourself, you know, what can BMW Sauber become in the future? And obviously at the end of 2009 season, it wasn't really a good season, and they sort of just brought on Red Bull up there as well. BMW pulled out of the partnership with Sauber, and by 2010 Sauber became a more independent team now, and gave us drivers like Kamui Kobayashi. They drove Pedro de la Rosa as well, got him in. Sergio Perez, they gave us him. Esteban Gutierrez gave us him. Sadly he's gone, but never mind. Most recent time in 2012, Sergio Perez in the Malaysian Grand Prix came second, when that was the most successful times in the team's independent history. Really since then, it sort of went declined for Sauber a little bit. 2013 they didn't get much points, but then sort of worked on the car till now, which was really, really good. But this season in 2014, they've scored no points. It's sort of been a disastrous season, a season to forget. Financial trouble is gain, and money is always a talking point in Formula 1. But you know, never mind. But yeah, I hope Sauber do produce a good car next year, because they've got Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasra as drivers, and I hope that they do well, and I hope Sauber does well, because I would like to see Sauber back up where they were in 2006, 2007, 2008, that type of thing. So yeah, that concludes this video today. I hope you really enjoyed it. Sauber Formula 1, if you are watching this, I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe give us a little bit of feedback as well. send us a little bit of feedback or something like that, to say how the video was, how it can be improved, and also are you going to share it? This is just how it's going to be now. It's just going to be me talking, no copyright images, no videos or anything like that, because I don't have the equipment to. I'm just using my mobile phone at the minute. So yeah, so this channel is forever developing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe as well. Also like us on Facebook, Formula JT, and also follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan F1 2014. I'll probably follow you back, and so yeah, thank you for watching this video. Give us some feedback, and I'll see you later.